curriculum. I've been developing our curriculum for Revelation Taekwondo over the past 3 years. I've helped out with other schools when I was working at some other schools, teaching for them. I helped them with some curriculum development. But our curriculum here at Revelation Taekwondo, it's in the development. I mean, it's always changing, and it will continue to change. Every year I go back, I see what was lacking, what wasn't lacking, and I make some changes in the curriculum and what's going to be taught, how it's going to be taught, when it's going to be taught, to help improve the system and make each student more well-rounded so that they are getting every single piece that they need. For example, let me start with the regular curriculum. Regular curriculum, most schools you'll see that there is a white, yellow, green, or white, yellow, orange, green, blue, purple, red, brown, a high brown, recommend a black belt, and a black belt. And then you have 9 different levels of black belt. In my curriculum, what I did is I took out the orange belt, I took out the purple belt, and the 2 brown belts, the regular brown belt and the high brown belt. The reasoning for that, what I did is I took the belts that didn't have a literal meaning. The white belt, yellow belt, green belt, blue belt, red belt, recommended black belt, and black belt all have a specific meaning or symbology behind them. And the ones that didn't have the symbology, they were just referred to as extensions of the previous belt. So what I did is I just put those extensions back together. So for example, originally you'd see, in a lot of schools, you'll see yellow belt has one form and an orange belt has a form. And then there's various techniques and kicks and different material that goes with each one. What I did is I just took them two and put them together into one solid rank. What you'll see with, sometimes I'll split the ranks. I don't like to, but sometimes I will for students who are having difficulty with the material. I mean, if there's just too much and they can't hold it all at once, they need a little bit slower of a pace to be able to learn it, I may initiate a half rank. You know, for example, say if for white belt they are having difficulty with learning the whole form or some of the stances. So what I'll do is I'll split it from a white belt into a high white belt. At 2 different levels, you learn half the material at the first level and then the other half at the high white belt to complete one full rank. With the Tiny Tykes classes, what I do is I take white belt, the first rank, and I take all the material that's in white belt and I split it up into multiple little pieces. So you'll see that when they just have a white belt in the Tiny Tykes class, that'd be an ill white belt or first white belt. And then when they get to the yellow, it'll have yellow with a white stripe in the middle to symbolize that it's still a white belt. They're just at another level, which I call the second white belt, which is E-white. And then so on and so forth. It just goes first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Usually by the time they get to the 4th or 5th level, they're old enough to integrate into the regular program. Because usually they start around 3. Within 2 years, they've gotten approximately to the 4th or 5th level of the white belt. And each level they've learned one more piece, one little additional piece each time, just to make it easier, especially for the age, so I can make sure that they understand it and then they know how to use it. The students that I have started from age 3, their understanding at their level when they are 5 now is far greater than a student who just comes in when they're 5. So the Tiny Tykes class is a really good stepping stone to help the student at such a young age integrate into a full curriculum. The main things that we teach in the Tiny Tykes class are rough motor skills, balance, coordination, the differences between different hands, whether it be a jab punch or reverse punch, focus on just the real basics, some of the fundamentals of how to move your feet, the agility, and just some of the basic techniques and structure on some of the kicks. With the regular curriculum, it's a full curriculum. It doesn't matter if you are 5 years old or 75 years old. It's the same material. And through white belt all the way up through, it'll take about 5 years to get all the way to black belt. depending on the student. I mean, if the student takes extra classes and works really hard, is constantly practicing at home, might be able to do it in 4 years. But I like to try to keep it a 5-year time period between white belt and first degree black belt. And then at each rank from that, it should take the number of years as the rank you're trying to get. So for example, if I'm going from first degree black belt to second degree black belt, it should take approximately 2 years to be able to move up to the other level. And a lot of that is just to ingrain the reflexes and master the techniques that you've learned. You can kind of think of it as like all the colored belts are all the instructions. All the techniques, once you get up to black belt, it's more of refining the techniques and mastering the techniques and fully understanding how to use and how to perform all of these techniques that you've learned over the past 5 years. Along with the main 4 topics that are incorporated into the curriculum, I have also incorporated break falls, which teach you how to fall properly, rolls, which can be incorporated with the break falls to help you get up quicker if you get knocked down or if you trip or you fall. And both of them combined allow a person to be able to fall, get knocked over, or whatnot, and be able to get up with little or no injury. Whereas a person who doesn't know how to fall properly, when they fall, they may, break something or get a lot more hurt than somebody who knows how to fall properly. Also, there's footwork drills, which help the person, especially in sparring or in self-defense, to be able to move properly. A lot of the footwork drills, some are easy, some are a little harder than others, especially when you start combining them together to be able to move more fluidly. It can be time-consuming to be able to get them to work for you. A lot of it is just practice. You got to practice in order to be able to get them down, get them well, so that you can actually use them fluently in an application type scenario.